The Silent Void. Admiral Lakshmi Patil of the Tellurian Council stood aboard the formidable, Earth's flagship vessel, as holographic displays showed the systematic withdrawal of human ships across the galaxy. The bridge crew worked in focused silence, each aware of the gravity of their actions. All diplomatic vessels have returned from the Krell Consortium territories, reported Commander Wei, her tactical officer. The trade fleet from the Morathi Alliance has arrived at Saturn Waypoint. Only the scientific expedition in the Taurus cluster remains outstanding. Lakshmi nodded, her dark eyes reflecting the shifting lights of the tactical display. 6 months of careful planning had led to this moment, the complete withdrawal of humanity from galactic affairs. And the deep space sensors, she asked. Still detecting the anomalies, Admiral. The pattern is consistent with the ancient records. They're coming. Lakshmi's jaw tightened. Initiate blackout protocol. All communications with non-human entities cease immediately. Activate the defense grid. As the order spread throughout human-controlled space, humanity went silent. Grand Archon, Zex Thal of the Krell Consortium, stretched his segmented limbs across his command chair, mandibles clicking with irritation as he studied the reports. 3 cycles without a single human transmission. He chittered to his advisory circle. Their diplomatic compound on Krell Prime evacuated without explanation. Their trade vessels withdrawn. Their military outposts abandoned. Senior strategist Vexnar moved forward, her carapace gleaming under the chamber lights. The humans have always been erratic, Grand Archon. Perhaps internal strife. Their history is riddled with self-conflict. No, Zexthal dismissed the notion with a wave of his upper limb. This withdrawal was too coordinated, too deliberate. Humans are chaotic when they panic. This speaks of preparation. Then a prelude to aggression, suggested military commander Kexloth, his battle scars prominent in the dim light. Humans have always sought territorial expansion. The Grand Archon studied the star map, where human territories glowed in red. Perhaps they know something we do not. He rose from his seat, towering over his advisors. Deploy scout vessels along the human borders. Monitor but do not engage. And summon our ambassador to the Galactic Council. It seems we need to talk with our neighbors. In the crystal cities of the Morathi Alliance, Luminary Prime Sovalik convened the Council of Light. The towering translucent beings shimmered with bioluminescence as they communicated through patterns of light rather than sound. The human silence is troubling. Sovalik's body pulsed in the formal patterns of high speech. For 3 centuries, they have been reliable trading partners. Their quantum physicists collaborated with our thought smiths. This abrupt severance is unprecedented. Elder Pilarix shifted through shades of deep blue, indicating concern. Our sensors detect unusual energy fluctuations near human space. Their defensive satellites remain active but automated. No organic signals detected. Could they have ascended? Flickered young Kefan, the pattern's hopeful. Perhaps they have evolved beyond physical form, as prophesied in the ancient texts. Unlikely, countered Sovalik. Their biological development was proceeding at expected rates. This is something else. The council chamber darkened slightly as the luminaries dimmed their glow in contemplation. We must know what the humans know. Sovalik finally pulsed. Dispatch the research vessel Eternal Inquiry to the edge of human space. If they have encountered something beyond our knowledge, we must prepare. High General Ozrak of the Draconid Imperium slammed his scaled fist onto the war table, sending holographic projections scattering. The humans mock us with this silence, he roared to his assembled war council. For decades they have interfered with our rightful expansion, always hiding behind our treaties and coalitions. Now they withdraw without a word. It is an insult. War Chief Kazrek, his battle-scarred snout twisted into a perpetual snarl, growled in agreement. They prepare for something. Our border patrols report human vessels moving in precise formation toward their core systems. Mobilize the 3rd and 7th battle fleets, ordered Ozrak, his yellow eyes narrowing. The humans have abandoned their outlying territories. It is time we claimed what should have been ours long ago. Science advisor Meska, smaller than the warriors but respected for her sharp mind, raised a clawed hand. High General, our long-range sensors detect unusual energy signatures at the boundaries of human space. Perhaps caution. Caution. Ozrak sneered, while the humans consolidate their forces. No, we strike now before they complete whatever plan they have set in motion. As orders echoed through the vast chambers of the war fortress, battle cruisers began powering their engines across Draconid space. The collective mind of the Valeth drifted through its quantum substrate, billions of interconnected consciousnesses processing the data simultaneously. Unlike the corporeal species of the galaxy, the Valeth existed as pure intelligence, housed in artificial bodies when interaction with physical beings became necessary. Human communication channels, inactive. Human outposts, abandoned. Human vessels, withdrawn to Sol system and immediate colonies. Probability of hostile intent, 47.23%. Probability of existential threat detection, 72.68%. The calculation disturbed the collective. Humans were unpredictable but rarely foolish. Their pattern recognition capabilities sometimes exceeded even the Valeth's vast processing power, an evolutionary trait from their predatory origins. Decision. Investigate. From hidden installations throughout the galaxy, sleek Valeth observer units activated, their quantum drives powering up as they set course for the boundaries of human space. On the neutral space station Concordia, representatives from the 4 major non-human powers gathered in emergency session. Ambassador Exelfar of the Krell Consortium gestured animatedly with his upper limbs. The humans have violated 17 separate treaty obligations with this communications blackout, he chittered. We demand an explanation. Luminary Delegate Foverix of the Morathi Alliance pulsed in measured patterns. Perhaps instead of accusations, we should consider what might have prompted such an unprecedented action from our human allies. Allies? Scoffed Imperator Norzak, the Draconid representative. The humans have never been allies to the Imperium. They have been obstacles to our destiny. And now they plot in secret. The Valeth representative, a sleek humanoid form housing a fragment of the collective, spoke in perfectly modulated tones. Our analysis suggests the human withdrawal may be a response to detected threats rather than aggressive positioning. What threats? Demanded Norzak. The galaxy has known peace for centuries, aside from the humans constantly interfering in regional disputes. Before anyone could respond, a junior Krell aide rushed into the chamber. Honored representatives, the Draconid 7th Fleet has begun operations against abandoned human outposts in the Orion Spur. The chamber erupted in chaos. The Draconid battle cruiser Inevitable Victory emerged from hyperspace near the human outpost on Toth City. What was once a thriving colony with thousands of inhabitants now appeared deserted, its landing pads empty, defensive shields powered down. Commander Thrazek smiled, showing rows of serrated teeth. As expected, the humans fled before our might. No life signs detected, reported his sensor officer. Minimal power readings. Automated systems only. Prepare landing parties, ordered Thrazak. Secure the colony and claim it for the Imperium. As the Draconid vessels moved into position, dormant systems across the human outpost suddenly activated. Shield generators powered up, weapon platforms emerged from hidden compartments, and automated defensive drones launched from concealed bays. Incoming weapons lock, shouted the tactical officer. Impossible. Thrazek snarled. The outpost was abandoned. The first volley struck before the Draconids could raise their shields, precision strikes targeting engines and weapon systems. Across the Orion Spur, similar scenes played out as Draconid forces encountered sophisticated automated defenses protecting supposedly abandoned human territories. The Morathi research vessel Eternal Inquiry approached the boundary of human space with caution. Captain Milorix's crystalline form shimmered with scientific curiosity as she studied the sensor readings. The energy fluctuations increase in frequency as we approach the border, she noted. Unlike any known phenomenon in our databases. Captain, called her sensor specialist, we're detecting something unusual. A structure of some kind at the boundary. The main view screen adjusted to show a massive object floating in space. It appeared artificial but ancient, covered in strange markings. Parts of it glowed with an eerie blue light. Magnify, ordered Milorix. As the image cleared, she saw human ships positioned around the structure, clearly studying it. And beyond them, in the darkness of deep space, something moved, something vast. Captain, cried the communications officer, we're receiving a transmission from the humans. The bridge crew froze in surprise. After months of silence, the humans were reaching out. Admiral Lakshmi Patel's face appeared on the view screen, her expression grave. Morathi vessel, retreat immediately. You are in danger. They have awakened. Who has awakened? Milorix asked, but the transmission was already breaking up. Through the interference, the Admiral's final words came through. The harvesters have returned. May the stars forgive us for what we couldn't tell you. As the transmission cut out, the enormous shapes in the darkness beyond the human fleet began moving toward the Eternal Inquiry. The Morathi vessel's sensors registered objects larger than anything they had encountered before, massive ships of unknown design, bearing down on them with terrifying speed. Emergency hyperspace jump, Milorix ordered. We must warn the Alliance. But as the hyperdrive powered up, a strange energy field enveloped the Morathi ship, preventing their escape. The last transmission from the Eternal Inquiry was cut short as the massive unknown vessels surrounded it. The silent void had answered, and its reply was darkness. When darkness answers, Admiral Lakshmi Patel watched the tactical display with growing dread as the harvester vessels advanced through the outer defense perimeter. Massive ships of obsidian darkness, they absorbed weapons fire like cosmic sponges, seemingly impervious to humanity's most advanced weaponry. The Morathi vessel has been lost, reported Commander Wei, her voice steady despite the implications. The harvesters will have their technology now. Lakshmi nodded grimly. And the Draconid incursions. Our automated defenses are holding, but they're diverting resources we need against the primary threat. Wei hesitated. Admiral, we can't fight a war on two fronts. The Admiral's dark eyes remained fixed on the approaching harvester fleet. Humanity had discovered the ancient warning 6 months ago. Hieroglyphs on a derelict station orbiting a dying star in uncharted space. The message was clear. They come in cycles. They harvest all advanced life. They cannot be reasoned with. The decision to prepare in secret had been controversial. Some argued for galactic cooperation, but historical data suggested panic and chaos would follow. Better to withdraw quietly, fortify, and prepare a coordinated defense. Now that decision was being tested by fire. Open channels to all non-human vessels in range, Lakshmi ordered. It's time they knew the truth. On the bridge of the Draconid command vessel Sovereign Flame, High General Ozrak received the unexpected transmission with suspicion. A trick, he growled, watching the human admiral's message. These harvesters are fiction, a human ploy to justify their territorial consolidation. Science advisor Meska studied the data packet accompanying the transmission. The energy signatures match what our scouts detected at the boundary of human space, she said carefully. And the structure they discovered bears markings similar to ancient ruins found on Draconid Prime, from before our civilization. You suggest these harvesters are real? Ozrak scoffed. That humans withdrew to protect the galaxy rather than conquer it. I suggest we verify before committing our forces further, Meska replied. The humans are opening their sensor networks to us. We can confirm their claims. Ozrak's reptilian features twisted in contempt, but he gave the order. Within moments, the Draconid vessels had access to the human defense grid's sensor data, and the approaching horror became clear. By the ancient fires, whispered War Chief Kazarek as the screens displayed the massive harvester ships moving through space, consuming everything in their path. Those vessels are larger than anything in our fleet. Osrek's scales darkened with rage, not at the humans, but at the invaders threatening his empire. Redirect all forces, he commanded. The human colonies can wait. These intruders must be destroyed. The Krell Consortium received the human warning with characteristic analytical precision. Grand Archon Zexthal convened an emergency session of the Hive Council, where the data was examined thoroughly. The archaeological evidence is compelling, chittered senior researcher Nexfer. The cycle of extinction. The humans describe aligns with gaps in the fossil record across multiple worlds. Every 50,000 years, advanced civilizations simply disappear. Military Commander Kexeloth rasped his mandibles together nervously. Our scout vessels confirm the presence of these harvester ships. One of our observers witnessed the destruction of the Morathi research vessel. These entities possess technology far beyond our understanding. Zexthal's compound eyes reflected the holographic images of the massive dark ships. Summon the war swarm, he decided. All vessels capable of combat are to converge at these coordinates. We shall join the humans in defense. As the order spread throughout Krell space, thousands of insectoid vessels began moving toward the front line. The humans had earned their respect, and now, perhaps, their salvation. The collective mind of the Valeth processed the human warning faster than any biological species could. Within microseconds, response scenarios were generated, analyzed, and prioritized. Probability of human deception, 0.03%. Probability of harvester extinction level threat, 99.87%. Optimal response, full mobilization and alliance. Across the galaxy, hidden Valeth installations activated. Vessels that had remained dormant for centuries powered up, their quantum drives engaging as they moved to join the defensive formation. The Valeth had prepared for this possibility, the arrival of an existential threat, since their transcendence to digital consciousness. In their communication to humanity, the collective was direct. We stand with you. Our computational resources are at your disposal. The survival probability increases with unified response. The Morathi Alliance mourned the loss of the eternal inquiry, but acknowledged the sacrifice had not been in vain. The vessel's final transmission, fragmented but clear enough, revealed the threat approaching galactic civilization. Luminary Prime Sovalek addressed the assembled Council of Light, his form pulsing with determination. The humans did not abandon us. They were preparing to defend us all. Their silence was not betrayal but strategy. What hope do we have against such entities? Flickered Elder P. lyrics in somber blues and violets. If the harvesters have destroyed civilizations before, what chance do we possess that others did not? So Valek's response came in brilliant gold. We have what previous cycles lacked: unity. Humans, Krell, Draconid, Valeth, and Morathi. 5 distinct evolutionary paths. 5 approaches to technology and warfare. Together, we may find what has eluded those who came before. The Council's decision was unanimous. The crystalline vessels of the Morathi fleet, elegant and lethal, set course to join the unified defense. On the neutral station Concordia, now repurposed as the Alliance Command Center, Admiral Lakshmi met with the leaders of the 4 non-human powers. Tensions remained, centuries of suspicion not easily set aside, but common purpose united them. The Harvester's strategy is consistent with their historical pattern, Lakshmi explained, standing before the tactical display. They target the most technologically advanced civilizations first, assimilating their knowledge before moving on to less developed worlds. Why did you not warn us sooner? Demanded Imperator Norzak, the Draconid representative, his scaled fist clenching. Would you have believed us? Lakshmi asked simply, without evidence, or would you have seen it as a human ploy, perhaps an excuse for military buildup? The Draconid silence was answer enough. Their vessels appear impervious to conventional weapons, observed HFY of the Krell Consortium. Our most powerful beams are simply absorbed. Yes, Lakshmi confirmed. But we've detected a pattern in their energy signatures. They don't absorb the energy, they redirect it through quantum channels. If we can disrupt those channels, the Valith representative stepped forward. Our quantum computation models support this theory. We are developing targeting algorithms to identify vulnerability nodes. So Valak's luminous form brightened with insight. Our crystalline resonators might be adapted to interfere with such channels. We require data on the precise frequencies. For the first time in galactic history, the 5 powers worked in true harmony, each contributing their unique strengths toward a common goal. Humans provided strategic insight and adaptive thinking. The Krell offered overwhelming numbers and coordination. Draconids brought raw firepower and tactical aggression. The Valith contributed computational precision and quantum expertise. The Morathi added their mastery of energy manipulation and crystalline technology. Hours stretched into days as the Harvester fleet advanced inexorably toward the inner systems. Smaller engagements tested defensive capabilities, each skirmish providing vital data on the enemy's methods and weaknesses. The final battle began at the edge of the Sol system. Humanity's homeworld would not fall without a fight that would echo through eternity. Admiral Lakshmi stood on the bridge of the Formidable, now joined by representatives from each allied species. The combined fleet stretched out before them, thousands of vessels from 5 civilizations, arranged in precise formation. The Harvester fleet has entered the outer solar system, reported Commander Wei. 87 capital ships detected, with countless smaller vessels. They still believe they face isolated resistance, Lakshmi noted. They don't expect a unified defense. High General Ozrak of the Draconid forces growled in anticipation. Let them come. Today they learn the galaxy has teeth. The trap was set. As the Harvester vessels approached Jupiter's orbit, the Allied fleet remained hidden, using the gas giant's radiation belts and moons for cover. When the massive black ships moved into position, Lakshmi gave the command. Execute Operation Prometheus. The largest gas mining station on Jupiter suddenly initiated an emergency venting sequence. Millions of tons of refined hydrogen erupted into space, directly in the path of the Harvester fleet. Simultaneously, Morathi crystalline arrays activated, tuned to the precise frequency needed to disrupt the Harvester's energy absorption capabilities. Before the enemy could react, concentrated fire from the Draconid and human capital ships ignited the hydrogen cloud. A miniature sun blossomed in the blackness of space, engulfing the lead Harvester vessels. Without their absorption technology, the ships had no defense against the sudden thermal overload. First wave showing significant damage, reported Wei, unable to keep the triumph from her voice. Their shields are failing. The Allied fleet emerged from hiding. Thousands of vessels moving in coordinated attack patterns developed by the Valith Collective. Krell swarm ships darted between the larger Harvester vessels, delivering precision strikes against newly identified weak points. Draconid dreadnoughts unleashed devastating broadsides, while human carriers launched waves of fighter craft to exploit breaches in the enemy formation. For a moment, victory seemed possible. Then the Harvesters adapted. The surviving ships adjusted their energy signatures, rendering the Morathi disruption less effective. Massive tentacles of dark energy extended from the Harvester vessels, grasping Allied ships and crushing them. Countermeasures deployed against the fighter craft, filling space with lethal defense grids. Their learning, Lakshmi realized with horror, adapting to our tactics in real time. The Valith representatives' artificial eyes flickered with calculation. They are assimilating our attack patterns through quantum observation. Each engagement increases their knowledge. The battle began to turn as more Allied ships fell to the evolving Harvester tactics. The carefully coordinated offensive faltered against an enemy that seemed to predict their every move. In the command center, desperation mounted until HFY of the Krell suddenly chittered with inspiration. If they learned through observation, we must become unpredictable, even to ourselves. The Valith representative understood immediately. Random tactical generation. Combat chaos theory. Lakshmi grasped the concept. All vessels implement Protocol Omega. Disengage tactical networking. Each ship captain is to act on individual initiative, be unpredictable, creative, human. Across the fleet, the order spread. The precision of the Allied formation dissolved into apparent chaos as each vessel began operating independently, following no discernible pattern. Human unpredictability, the trait that had often frustrated their allies, became their greatest weapon. The harvesters, evolved to counter organized resistance, found themselves unable to predict the seemingly random attacks. A Draconid cruiser would charge directly into enemy fire, while a Krull swarm would retreat only to circle back from an unexpected vector. Human vessels performed maneuvers that defied tactical logic, but succeeded through audacity. At the heart of the Harvester formation, their command ship, a massive construct of dark metal twice the size of any other vessel, coordinated the defense. Lakshmi recognized the critical target. All ships with remaining nuclear ordnance, she ordered, prepare for final approach. Targeting data follows. A suicide run, observed Ozrak with grim approval, worthy of a Draconid warrior. No, Lakshmi corrected. A diversion. As the designated vessels launched their desperate attack against the Harvester command ship, drawing enemy fire and attention, the true plan unfolded. The Morathi research vessel, Light of Understanding, equipped with experimental phase shift technology, slipped undetected past the Harvester defenses. On board was a joint team of human scientists and representatives from each allied species, along with a quantum payload developed by the Valeth. The small vessel docked with the massive Harvester command ship, its presence masked by the chaos of battle. The infiltration team moved through alien corridors, facing automated defenses and the horrifying truth of what the Harvesters truly were, not conquerors but collectors, preserving samples of advanced life before exterminating the rest, a twisted museum of cosmic biodiversity. At the central core, they planted the quantum device, designed not to destroy but to communicate. The Valeth had recognized something in the Harvester operations. These were not mindless destroyers but intelligences following programming so ancient they no longer questioned it. The device activated, establishing a quantum bridge between the Harvester collective intelligence and the combined knowledge of the 5 allied species. Centuries of philosophy, art, science, and most importantly, cooperation flooded into the ancient consciousness. For the first time in countless millennia, the Harvesters experienced something new. Perspective beyond their programming. In the void of space, the battle froze as the Harvester vessels suddenly ceased fire. For long moments, nothing moved except debris floating in the zero gravity of space. Then, without explanation, the massive ships began to retreat, accelerating away from the solar system with impossible speed. Within minutes, they had vanished beyond the range of even the most advanced sensors. 1 solar year later, representatives of the 5 powers gathered again on Concordia Station. The alliance forged in desperation had evolved into something more lasting. Territorial disputes seemed petty in the aftermath of near extinction. We've established long-range monitoring posts throughout the galaxy, reported Commander Wade, now promoted to Admiral following Lakshmi's appointment as Supreme Commander of the United Fleet. No sign of Harvester activity in any sector. They will return, chittered XL Far of the Krell. Patterns established over millions of years do not change easily. But when they do, replied Luminary Sovalik, his crystalline form shimmering with optimism, they will find us stronger, more united, and prepared. The Valeth representative's artificial eyes glowed softly. Our analysis suggests the quantum bridge affected their base programming. They are processing, recalculating their purpose. High General Ozrak snorted skeptically. Trust a machine intelligence to defend another machine intelligence. Not defending, corrected the Valeth. Understanding. They were created, as were we all. The difference is they forgot their creator's purpose. Admiral Lakshmi studied the galactic map, where the combined territories of the five powers now operated under shared defense protocols. The silence that had once caused fear now represented peace, however temporary. "We gave them something they hadn't encountered in 50,000 years of harvesting," she said quietly. "Not just resistance, but meaning. A reason to question. Whether the harvesters would return as enemies or something else entirely remained unknown. But humanity and their new allies would face the future together, their strength no longer in isolation, but in the bonds they had forged when darkness answered their call." The stars waited, and for the first time in galactic history, 5 voices spoke as one to the infinite void.